Where am I? Is the usual question. In your case, when might be more apt.
Very well, you old snake. If you'd prefer I use my bare hands...
This is completely unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Kain, some 30 years from now.
Ah, you two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
How is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the contrary, Raziel, I know you very well. And it grieves me to see how cruelly Kain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Sarafan Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately, you need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Vorador?
Yes. The scourge of the Circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow Guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
I and 2 others. The Circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me so? Your malefactor, Kain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then. But consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Kain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you. Even now, Kain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me. See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
The pillars are still standing in this time.
Yes, Raziel. They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Kain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision. Kain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and end this. But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
Require a few martyrs. Good morning, everyone.
Alone now, I surveyed my surroundings and noticed a second time-streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how? I had not yet discovered.
Let's go. Why? Wow, it's really bad. Oh, damn, start. It's fine.
Throughout the stronghold, I discovered evidence of my former nobility and my life as a Sarafan priest. This was the heritage so foully stolen from me when Kain raided my sacred crypt and defiled me. Away from the influence of Mobius's cursed staff, I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Mobius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Mobius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy. But why, I wondered?
Would the staff have any effect on the Reaver?
As I neared the stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to
Indescribable feeling of displacement.
The disturbance seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's...
Good morning, everyone. I'll do my introductions now. I'm Pyroster Watts of Cable Bros Gaming. Hope you're all doing well this morning.
So this was the tomb of the beloved King William the
I don't know.
Just.
I'll stop getting up this early to run this when
Mobius's crusade.
I get a time I'm happy with.
Kain's
But
journey as a fledgling vampire. How Mobius
I don't
coerced
know.
him to travel back in history and assassinate.
This game's very easy to
thus igniting a genocide
gain a lot of time on and then lose a lot of time. So, we have a Discord. Jump in, post some dumb memes,
laid out like a holy relic
whatever.
and broken.
We also have a suggestions. Can't talk this morning. Suggestions page where you can say, hey, play this game. Hey, speedrun this. Or whatever. And we'd appreciate if you just let us know, because we're down for anything, and we want to play what you all want to see.
Still imprisoned in this corporeal shell.
So, that being said, let's get into this run.
Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long dormant spirit was now fully aroused.
Let's get into this run and watch the 45 minutes of cutscenes in the first hour.
Willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command.
But as I've always said,
now merely its helpless host, felt
I made this bed.
to restore the blade.
I'm gonna sleep in it.
But the Reaver knew better than to destroy its host. And just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control.
What have you done to me, Mobius? Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Kain who led you here, not I.
Don't forget it was Kain who led you here.
Nosgoth, ready to guide and assist you, Kain laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are, I can only imagine what they could do to your...
Far more durable than you, old man.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Mobius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless, yet eager to prove my good intentions. If there's anything left of the Seraphim in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Kain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon. As you said, death comes.
See where...
Yes. The wheel of fate demands it.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate. The
inexorable circle
of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same God.
The inexorable cycle of death and rebirth.
Would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you.
Alright. The one place we can't mess up. Well, there's a lot of places, but the one
concern myself with you. Kain is waiting for me.
that needs to go well
Go then, Raziel.
is the Light
Kill out and destroy
Forge,
in the name of the one God we
Light
both
Temple,
serve.
whatever.
You, who were once a Seraphim priest, murdered,
That's the
profaned,
one.
destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy. You are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent.
Alright,
His
so I guess
of
ultimate goal,
and retribution.
second.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
But let's see if we can't achieve
Soul,
something better.
almost had me.
My little blue assassin.
But that'll be the one,
One
and only chance
chance
you
you
get.
get.
I assure you of that.
I assure you of that.
I could now summon the blade
Just-
at will,
just-
regardless of my strength.
Just spend this whole run
The blade's ravenous appetite
Mocking.
could not be contained. It devoured the souls of its victims.
all the
And if
characters.
I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me.
It it honestly.
So this was the legendary Janos Ordrin, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed. According to folklore, he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenseless villagers below. His reign of terror ended when the Sarafan finally hunted him down and tore his throbbing heart from his still-living body. This relic came to be known as the Heart of Darkness, and was supposedly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife. The Sarafan therefore guarded it carefully, lest the heart fall into the hands of their enemies. But I wondered, could Janos Ordrin truly have been as monstrous as depicted here? Or was this merely artistic license by the Sarafan, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
Sure.
Strange how my history came full circle. This chapel, I realized, was a memorial to my former Sarafan
Now, it's not a
brethren
gold,
myself.
but it's better than the last
All
one,
of us
which
martyrs.
means my courtyard
And then so cruelly profaned
was
by
real
Kain
bad
when he imposed his gift
last time.
on our noble corpses. For the first time, I beheld the image of my Sarafan self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades. It tortured me to see how noble and pure I had been, and what a vile phantasm I had become. And a profound sense of injury, of loss and betrayal welled up in me, so overwhelming I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Kain and destroy him. I emerged, and for the first time beheld Nosgoth
For the
in
first
its full
time.
glory. The land overflowed with abundant life and vitality, and I knew with certainty then that the world I had left behind was nothing more than the corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Kain's parasitic empire. This was the fragile world Kain sacrificed to preserve his own petty life and ambition, heedless of the profound cost. The sight only deepened my resolve. I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest. If Kain truly waited to confront me there, I would not disappoint him. As I passed this arcane landmark, a wisp of the Reaver's energy was drawn into the ring, illuminating it. This created a beacon of sweetness.
Illuminating it.
If ever I
love
found
the,
myself depleted in the spectral realm, and my soul tossed
Just the
in fury of
crazy
gloom,
explanations.
these beacons would draw me back to
Not
safety
crazy,
and
but
restore me.
long-winded. Explanations for all the different things. All two, well, I guess it's more than two. But goes into a monologue about the different artifacts. No, don't do this. No, stop it.
These ancient obelisks were mysteriously attuned to my spiritual essence.
Fuck's sake, just
touching
jump out of the water.
I could safely preserve an
Gosh.
imprint of my soul, and thus create a milestone to which I could return when weary, and from which I could resume my journey. While I had only just escaped the stronghold, I sensed that in time my journey would return me full circle to this place. Infiltrating the fortress, however, would be no small feat. The balcony that had provided my escape was now well beyond my reach, leaving this massive gateway as the only means of entry. The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
So how did people get in if they didn't have the Reaver? Did it have to do with the staff, maybe? I don't know. Seems odd that so much stuff in this whole world is tied to the Reaver. Especially things that Mobius is supposed to use all the time.
These vampires had nothing in common with the deranged jackals I left behind in Kain's derelict empire. They seemed to retain much of their former humanity. In this era, vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed. And while I still believed that vampirism was a plague and had to be wiped out, there was nothing noble or righteous in this crusade. This was simply ruthless persecution.
Why is she... Oh, you bastard. Oh. Just the small things like that.
Goth, pristine, whole, and uncorrupted. I had never beheld them in this undefiled state, yet something profound and indelible resonated within me at the sight. And there, waiting at the very heart of the pillars, was the canker that was destined to destroy them.
The canker. Just love when...
I know you're there, Raziel.
Mobius led me to you, Kain.
I heard the door open.
Meet me here.
And if Mobius told you I was hidden on the underside of hell, would you throw yourself into oblivion to pursue me? Mobius trawls for the ignorant and unwary, hauling his gasping prey from the streams of their destinies. Stay out of his net, Raziel.
Spare me your elaborate metaphors, Kain. I have pursued you here for one purpose.
You will pay for your betrayal, and balance will thus be restored to Nosgoth.
And whose will is satisfied then? The will of Raziel or Mobius?
Would I be better manipulated by you, Kain? Now, turn and face me. The chase is over.
This isn't a chase, Raziel. We are merely passengers on the wheel of destiny, describing a perfect circle to this point. We've been brought here for a reason. I've seen the beginning and the end of our story, however, and the tale is crude and ill-conceived. We must rewrite the ending of it. You and I.
Face me, Kain. Even you shouldn't die a coward's death.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned a final request?
I recall no such courtesy from you.
Indulge me, Raziel.
Yeah, Kain was an absolute dick, and then all of a sudden feels the need to monologue everything.
Is the sublime moment of our undoing, Raziel. The ineffable fulcrum upon which
You have
the
wings,
entirety of our
you
history.
bastard.
This is where all of Nosgoth is betrayed. In this instant, Ariel, the Balance Guardian, is murdered by dark forces bent on overthrowing the pillars. Her spirit is just now...
This version of Kain seems
lost in the ether, trying to
far
find its
less
You have already seen how she comes to haunt these
a
pillars.
menacing figure
Bound here,
looking to remain in power.
You are the reason this land becomes diseased. As long as you remain alive,
Crazy.
you condemn Nosgoth to an eternity of decay.
Be still, Raziel. See this. As Ariel dies, I am being born to take her place as Balance Guardian. Such is my destiny.
My God.
Oh my god.
At the moment of my first cry, Ariel's beloved, the Guardian Nupraptor, finds her corpse. Racked with grief and tormented by suspicions of treachery, Nupraptor plunges into a madness which overflows and infects all of the Guardians who are symbolic,
Nupraptor's keep.
including me. The repercussions of Ariel's assassination were expertly calculated.
Should do another
The
playthrough of Blood
entire
Omen.
circle descends into madness, and I am tainted at the moment.
Instantly
Instantly rendered incapable of fulfilling the role destiny has prepared for me.
Shall I show you the same mercy you showed the rest of the circle then? You blithely murdered them to restore their pillars, yet your hand faltered when it came to the final sacrifice. What makes you exempt, Kain? You're merely the last man standing.
So anyone that's interested in playing the original Blood Omen,
You hadn't the courage to do yourself.
Let's drop the moral posturing, shall we? We both know there's no altruism in this.
you want to use Varrock's
Reckless
patch
indignation.
on the PC version,
I counted
which I think gives you, it's supposed to give you the PlayStation audio
Revenge is
and actually make it playable as far as
honest. Hate me, but do it
just how
honestly.
everything works. Like,
30
the
years.
original PlayStation version is so
I am
broken.
presented with a dilemma.
You
Let's
hit
call it a two-sided.
start to pause the game and it
If the coin falls one way,
just,
I sacrifice myself.
it's hard
and
to,
thus restore
it's hard to play.
But as the last surviving
But with Varrock's patch,
this would mean
it's really
the
a nice
annihilation
experience.
of species. Mobius made sure of that. If the coin lands on the reverse, I refuse the sacrifice and thus doom the pillars to an eternity of collapse. Either way, the game is rigged.
We agree then that the pillars are crucial and must be restored.
Yes, Raziel. And that's why we've come full circle to this place.
So after all this, you make my case for me. To end this stalemate, you must die so that new Guardians can be born.
Pillars don't belong to them, Raziel.
Belong to us.
To us.
Your arrogance is boundless, Kain.
There's a third option. A monumental secret hidden in your very presence here. But it's a secret you have to discover for yourself. Unearth your destiny, Raziel. It's all laid out for you here.
You said it yourself, Kain. There are only two sides to your coin.
Apparently so. But suppose you throw a coin enough times. Suppose one day
it lands on its edge.
I didn't know what impulse stayed my hand, why I had so willingly allowed Kain to escape me when I had pursued him for so long. I had no reason to trust Kain after he had valued me so little, and yet I found myself intrigued by his words. I had been too cruelly used to so gullibly play his pawn, but if this world truly had secrets to divulge, I was determined to expose them.
Hell. God, this is not
From the moment
the
of my
shit
arrival,
run so far.
I had the constant and palpable sensation of being watched. Someone, it seemed, was keenly interested in my presence here. From the look of it, this door had been sealed for centuries. I began to realize it was no mere coincidence that I found myself standing here, beneath this winged figure with blue skin and cloven hands so like my own, and bearing this unique key. And so it was with a sense of gravity and trepidation that I unsealed that ancient door and crossed the threshold.
Threshold. Hey, you'll need the Reaver to get back out. Shit. Why would you turn the camera on me? It's funny because I had the Reaver to get in here. Alright.
As I entered the chamber, I sensed that it had been sealed for hundreds, perhaps thousands of years. And while this room was clearly built when the pillars were erected, I knew that no human hand could have shaped this place, and that perhaps it had never been seen by human eyes. The surrounding murals depicted a winged race, their features so like my own, but beautiful, where mine were grotesque, and angelic, while mine were demonic. I tried to decipher these images. A great war. But
I
with
know there's
combatants like
plenty of time to save, but
the pillars, raised by this winged race, who thus defeated their adversaries. The winged beings again,
just really
writhing in agony, apparently afflicted with the same bloodthirst I had so recently suffered.
just need to breathe.
Throughout the chamber, inscribed everywhere, images of the Reaver itself. Was this what Kain had urged me to discover? I wondered.
Lies, Raziel. Oh, excuse me.
Do not be deceived.
Ah, my ancient benefactor.
Oh, man.
And I dared to hope we had parted ways forever.
After this,
Silence was
pretty much, this,
but it lasted.
we're good
No doubt
until
a conveniently inexpressible
grab
reason
the
for your presence here.
Dark Reaver.
Do not be insolent, Raziel. I am
It's a couple shorter
here and
cutscenes,
everywhere,
but
now
nothing like all of
This
these.
center of the turning wheel, the hub of this world's
6+ minute cutscenes with Mobius,
So omnipotent.
6+ with Kain, and this is
I no longer seem to need
out of
you.
5.
Yet I'm guessing you still need me.
This impudence is unworthy of you, Raziel. Do not forget that you have a task to fulfill here. You are indebted to me.
Indebted.
You are
You would have
indebted
me
to.
show gratitude for a gift I didn't ask to be bestowed. Do you forget that you forced me to inhabit this vile carcass?
I restored you to yourself, Raziel. It was Kain who destroyed you. The very enemy you've just let slip through your grasp. Do not fail me, my servant.
I serve no one. Not you, not Kain, and not your lackey Mobius.
Mobius is my good servant. I have many.
And if I tell Mobius that he's worshipping a giant squid, do you think his faith will falter?
Giant squid?
You have grown willful, Raziel. But beware. To embrace a serpent is to invite poison into your heart. Kain is a sinuous beast who will seduce and deceive you. You pride yourself on your free will, yet you let that degenerate deter your resolve.
Everyone's so
I harbor no illusions
triggered
about
by
his
Kain.
integrity, nor anyone else's. In fact, I am beset by manipulation on all sides. I
God,
merely
yes.
seek the
Yes, you are actually, Raziel.
These are the fathomless truths, Raziel. The agony of
Everybody
death and rebirth
that you've
This
come
is the wheel of
across
fate, the
is trying to
purifying
manipulate
cycle
you.
which sustains all life. Vampires are an abomination, a plague which leeches this land of its spiritual strength. They obstruct the flow of life and death. Their souls stagnate in their wretched corpses. But the wheel must turn. Death is inexorable and cannot be denied. Your destiny is irresistible, Raziel. You are my soul reaver, the scourge of the vampires, reaper of their apostate souls. Remain steadfast, end the vampire's parasitic curse, and restore Nosgoth. Kain's blood belongs on your hands.
Kain indeed deserves to die for condemning me to this repugnant form. But if and when I kill him, it will be for me alone to decide.
Kain destroyed you without a flicker of remorse. He tore the soul from your noble corpse, and after you had
Without a
served him
flicker of
faithfully for
remorse.
1,000 years, he discarded you in the abyss on a jealous whim. Remember your rage, Raziel. Let it guide your hand.
Ugh. Get in there. Oh! Oh my fucking word. Alright. Alright. Right. Just breathe. It's not awake yet. That's all. That's all.
I surfaced into a very different landscape. The daylight barely penetrated the dense canopy of this forest.
Just don't look.
Here I discovered an ancient ruin, unmistakably one of Mobius's time-streaming chambers, but long ago sealed and abandoned to the encroaching swamp. I didn't currently possess the means to break this seal, but I thought in time that I might. So, my lurking observer was exposed. The creature vanished when he realized he was discovered, but I caught a glimpse of him, and his features were distinctive enough. This was the vampire Vorador, the monstrous assassin depicted in the stronghold. Strange that a creature brazen enough to assault the Circle single-handedly would avoid confronting me. Very well. If Vorador would not come to me,
I would go to him.
But first I needed to find some means of reaching that terrace.
Oh, what the hell?
There appeared to be a passage here, leading northward into the mountains. The opening, however, was obstructed and too high for me to reach.
There's a path.
Perhaps later I would
It's a
find
path.
means to bypass this.
Look at this path. Oh my god. Just need to, like, stop.
My lurking friend was nowhere to be seen, but I found these ruins even more intriguing. I recognized these arcane symbols from the chamber beneath the pillars, and realized that this shrine, too, was sealed to all but the bearer of the Reaver.
Excuse me. Alright. See, there's gotta be some sort of way to jump up there. Like using the angles off the walls or something.
Throughout this ancient shrine, murals depicted the winged race, and the apocalyptic war against their mysterious and equally inhuman adversaries. These winged beings, it seemed, were not only the architects of the pillars, but of this enigmatic place as well. And just as in the pillars' chamber, this shrine was adorned throughout with imagery of the Reaver, depicted with the reverence of a
holy icon. Yeah. Freaking invisible wall. That's good. Bringing it back, bringing it back.
As I neared the altar, I suddenly felt the Reaver quickening of its own volition. Just as
That's
in
weird.
Damon's chapel, the balance
Saved
of
a
power
second and-
tangibly shifted. Voracious and willful, the Soul Reaver was now in control, and I, merely its helpless puppet. The Reaver plunged itself into that
So some of
mysterious
best
altar, and devouring
only went
the
down by
energy that
2
emanated from
seconds.
within, drained this place of its power.
So,
Thus sated, the Reaver released me.
not that I'm that
And I
good, but
realized as I recovered control that these ancient shrines were forges,
because clearly I'm
each
not.
purpose-built to enhance
But,
the Reaver with elemental power.
At least this place is like pretty much. I guess it could be slightly better, but it's pretty good.
Now I understood the purpose of the mysterious basins I had seen throughout my journey. They were elemental fonts, each attuned to a fundamental essence. When I forged the blade, every font in Nosgoth with the same elemental attunement was simultaneously quickened.
Simultaneously quicken.
Were never permanent, but these fonts enabled me to re-imbue the blade by bathing it in the elemental energy distilled therein. Concentric circles, one eclipsing the other. I recognized this symbol from the door sealing that other ancient shrine, the one I had seen in the lake outside the Sarafan stronghold. Perhaps now, armed as I was with the elemental power of darkness, I could return and gain entry.
Got her a ragged excuse for a savior. I'm gonna go refill coffee while I have the opportunity.
Savior? Vorador. I see my reputation precedes me.
It does.
All good, I hope? I've been watching you since you emerged from that accursed stronghold. Strange that your arrival coincides with the corruption of the Pillars. But I'm wondering, are you the catalyst of these events? Or the answer to them?
I don't know what you mean.
I will speak plainly then. I distrust your origins, stranger. Seeing you crawl from the putrid depths of Mobius's keep makes me question your purpose here. And what should I make of your appearance? Not human, clearly, and more demon than vampire. And the Pillars. It is no mere coincidence that your arrival in that clearing heralded the Pillars' decay. And so I ask you plainly, Are you the instrument of the Pillar's destruction, or their salvation?
Neither.
Very well. Let us look at the other side of the coin. I have followed your journey and watched as you blithely unlocked secrets that have been sealed and forbidden for thousands of years. The path you have been treading is open to only one being. You don't know what you are, do you?
I have been many things. If you find me ignorant, enlighten me.
What's the point? This world is beyond redemption. Let the human cattle have it.
I would expect better than meek capitulation from you.
Centuries of persecution have taught me well. 500 years ago, our race was nearly exterminated by the fanatical crusades of the Seraphan. And now the same sick drama...
500, okay.
In merely a decade, Mobius's cutthroat citizen army has nearly accomplished what the Seraphan could not. Vampires meddling in the affairs of men. Look where it's brought us.
What am I to make of these secrets I've uncovered, then? The depictions of the winged race, the Pillars, and the Reaver.
Fairy tales, boy. The delusions of an ancient culture clinging to hope long after the world had discarded them. Their bloodline trickled away, until only one of the ancients remained, sustained solely by obligation and his unfaltering faith in the old prophecies. But you see, even if you are who you appear to be, it no longer matters. You're simply too late. Janos Audron, the Reaver Guardian, the last of the ancients, and my maker, was murdered by the Seraphan nearly 5 centuries ago. He alone would have the answers you seek, but his secrets died with him. I don't know how you've come even this far without his guidance, or without the Reaver, stolen these 500 years ago by the Seraphan. I'm afraid, my friend.
Well, he says it at least 3 times. I don't know how I never knew exactly how far back it was.
I had no less reason to trust Vorador than anyone else I had met. In fact, the ancient vampire was the most forthright being I had encountered thus far. If Janos Audron was the key to all this, then I would find him, and Mobius's time-streaming device would provide me passage. But first, I had to find a way back into the stronghold, and I suspected I would find the means within the lake's mysterious shrine.
There's one!
Here it comes!
Oh, go down, because that's what you try to do every single time I try to jump out. Oh, jump. It's weird, sometimes crouch jumping, it just doesn't open his wings.
Child returns.
That's not terrible.
Having unearthed more than you'd like,
I suspect. What am I to make of these ruins that litter the land, and these images here in this chamber?
Merely the deceits of a failed civilization. You are being misled, Raziel. This ancient race hoped to manipulate the future with these scrawled misdirections. You must tread carefully. There are dark forces at work in this world, bent on subverting your true destiny.
I have no doubt of that. The question is, am I in their presence right now?
Your arrogance will spell your demise, Raziel. Deny my will,
I just love how
destiny will reach a sudden conclusion.
he is with the
Your
Elder God
threats are
now.
unmoving. Even now, I'm beyond your reach.
My reach is longer than you realize. This is a very dangerous game you're playing, Raziel.
Alright. Do we go safe light shrine? Or do we go YOLO light shrine?
Prepare to die.
Fuck, did I lose time? Besides that one missed jump right there, like, oh well.
These murals left no room for doubt. These winged creatures were indeed the architects of the pillars. And while the
That's hot.
images were difficult to decipher,
Very full.
the pillars appeared to banish or diminish their enemies somehow.
Hey Rockstar, how are you today? This fine morning. Sure I can. For whatever reason I can't my chat's covered up, so I'll just look at my third screen. I hope you're well. Alright. I wish I knew the easy conversion. I know, like, I'm good. I'm good. Last night was cool here, so well, I guess yesterday was pretty comfortable. If we're talking weather, so it was a cool night. Very nice. $86, okay. Because I knew the only reason I have any idea what, as far as Celsius goes, is, you know, computer components. I know like 45, 50 Celsius is, you know, it's getting up there. It's getting pretty hot. Like around 120 or so. Plus. I know it's a pretty broad spectrum that we're talking here. Yeah, no, I understand. It's honestly, it would be just really nice if... Oh, you bastard. I'm gonna lose time because of you. Celsius and the metric system would be, yes, universal measurements in general would be nice. This whole universal thing is just stupid. Or universal. Universal would be good. This whole quote-unquote standard. Oh, those freaking things. Yeah, it just would make sense, but you know, over here, or I guess in general, we're the only country that does not use metric, or at least, you know, one of very few. Just, ugh. How many quarts are in a gallon? Like, oh, how about liters, milliliters in a liter, whatever. Just stupid. Huh. Oh, it just... Why do we call it a foot? Because it's as big as this dude's foot was. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. No. The huge ass foot. Yeah, no, what's an inch the size of the big toe? I don't know. It's... just makes sense, because everything's in... like, bases of 10, which only makes sense, right? It's so easy to do the conversions. Here we are, like, how many feet in a mile? Oh, it's like 5,000... Why? Why, though? Just why? I don't even know. I always forget. It's like 5,300, 5,500 feet in a mile. Why? Why? Just do kilometer. It's 1,000 meters, right? And a kilometer. Kilo is 1,000. Like, simple. I don't know, we just like to make things more difficult. We don't want to do anything that anyone else is already doing. I know, they're all... like, metric is designed to just work well. Like, it only makes sense. It just makes too much sense. It's like someone actually took the time to say, let's make this as easy as possible. And then they did. Oh. At this point, it really should be. I mean, there are people trying to push it a little bit, but there's too many people set in their ways. Yeah, but even if... It's like, why do we still have to use it?
I plunged the Reaver into the forge and imbued the blade with the elemental power of light. Thus armed, I now had the means to re-enter the stronghold and finally use Mobius's time-streaming device to accomplish my own ends.
Maybe. Oh no, I hope not. Don't give anyone any ideas, please. It's bad enough. I'm sure someone's tried, though. Sure, when all those connections to Britain were trying to be severed, it's like, hey, why are we still using this system? Like, why is 32 degrees freezing? 0 just makes a lot more sense. these things. I always forget about coming to this part. I always assume it's straight to the time streaming chamber. Alright, good old long ass cutscene. Yeah.
Show yourself, Kain.
If only we would just make the switch.
Everything is decided.
It's the same thing with stupid daylight savings time. Not sure if that's something everywhere else. I know a lot of
If Nosgoth is to be
countries and
dragged
stuff
to
don't do it,
wreckage
but
its damnation.
it's just
I understand
so
all
dumb.
this, Kain.
It's like, why do we need it?
Mobius have impelled me to this moment simply means I can trust neither of you. I don't know who's pulling the strings.
Anyways,
No longer matters, because I'm cutting them. I set my own course from here.
If it were only that simple.
Your fatalism is tiresome, Kain.
And profoundly ingrained, Raziel. You must understand, our presence here doesn't alter history. You and I meet here because we are compelled to. We have always met here. History is irredeemable. Drop a stone into a rushing river. The current simply
it is
flows around
practice?
it. It
Yeah.
flows on as
Well,
if its
supposedly,
destruction were never there.
I don't know
You and
for
I
sure.
are pebbles, Raziel, and have even less hope.
Supposedly the states are going to put an end to it at some point.
The
It's just,
continuum of history is simply too strong, too resilient.
yeah.
Except, then how do we explain William here?
Like, it kind of made sense, I guess.
Beloved boy king
When,
turned tyrant.
I don't know, I always heard it was like
I witnessed William
because of
rise
farmers
to
and
power
stuff,
and his transformation
to
into
get as
the
much
nemesis
daylight as possible,
laid
but
waste
once you just wake up earlier or whatever, I don't know.
distance came. Years later, I stumble upon a chance to journey back in history, unaware that the entire affair has been carefully orchestrated by Mobius.
Just like, stop doing it. In general. There's no need anymore.
This opportunity to murder the young king before he can ravage Nosgoth, and thereby provide the catalyst Mobius needs to ignite a genocidal war against our race.
It's like gaining an hour is great, right?
No
Like,
further.
that's awesome.
One
But then losing an hour, oh god, that's awful.
skein of history. The nemesis never becomes the nemesis. William dies a martyred saint. I, the vampire assassin, become the author of my own species' extinction, and Mobius profits from it all. I destroyed a tyrant
I don't
only
get it.
to create one far worse. But how can it be so? How?
I mean, if you're gonna work sun up to sundown, it's
The
gonna be
answer
sun up to sundown,
is
regardless
here in
of what
this
time
world,
it is.
Raziel. Mobius propelled William and me together.
Ugh.
He knew first that we were both armed with the Soul Reaver. The Reaver is the key. Two incarnations of the blade meet in time and space. A paradox is created, a temporal distortion powerful enough to derail history.
Is this your sorcery?
Not mine, Raziel.
It's true. I guess we've always been
have
time
no
traveled.
to fear, Raziel. You hold all the cards.
It's midnight, but we have to set our clocks back, so we're back to midnight again. Get to relive this past hour.
Then perhaps I should test your sincerity. If what you say is true, you should be terrified. I could kill you here and now.
And so you do, Raziel.
What's
We're hurtling towards our destinies, Raziel. What you feel is the pull of
of history rushing to meet us. This is where history and destiny collide.
Paul with you.
If you truly believe in free will, Raziel, now is the time to prove it. Kill me now, and we both become pawns of history, dragged down the path of
Kill me
an
now.
destiny. I was ordained to assume the role.
Alright, where am I? Plus 14. Ugh,
while you
ugly.
were destined to be its savior. But the map of my fate was redrawn by Mobius.
There's so much time saved. So much. So many areas I lost time. Like
This moment does
that
not
it will
have to
come
be
back.
It can become a prelude. I can't. You can, Raziel. Look inside and see that it is so. You have the power to reshape our inevitable futures.
The only thing I wish is having a shot at world record, which I don't know if I have. 6 and
Pause.
a half, more than 6.5 minutes.
Even now, the time stream strains to divert itself.
I lost too much already.
Blocked by your refusal to destroy me. The future is reshuffling itself to accommodate your monumental decision. This is where we restore ourselves, Raziel, and reclaim our intended destinies. It may yet be possible for me to assume my role as Balance Guardian and return the pillars to their rightful inheritors.
To the vampires. And this is the destiny you have urged me to discover. I don't know what game you and Mobius are playing, Kain, but I refuse to be your pawn. Unlike you, I still revere whatever shred of humanity I've managed to preserve. You will not use me as the instrument of your messianic delusions.
Very well, Raziel. I'll not ask you to trust me. Your truths are for you to discover alone.
Humble words for one who presumes to teach me a lesson at every turn.
Remember, history abhors the introduction of a paradox, Raziel.
Remember, Mobius led you here, but you walk away.
Remember.
A champion
Remember.
of free will and conqueror of false histories. There is much more for you to unearth, if you have the heart for the truth and the will to see it.
Right and a left on the way back.
Seize him!
Oh, you...
like that look on your face, Mobius. You really don't know what to do now, do you, old man? Here you are, caught without your damn staff. I suspect things aren't progressing quite as you'd hoped. You're not used to the fly
decently clean.
in your web, are you?
Kain's devious influence has poisoned your mind, Raziel. Now you see betrayal everywhere, even in your closest allies.
We were never allies, Mobius. Conspirators, perhaps. Briefly.
Why did you not kill Kain when you had the chance? He was at your mercy.
Precisely. I had a choice, and I chose mercy. And now I know your sordid little secret. The significance
Excuse
of the
me.
displacement I felt when the two Reavers came together. Strangely enough, I was enlightened by the devious Kain, not by you. In fact, I've learned much more than you can. I understand now how you've tried to manipulate all of history for your own personal gain. But now all your little schemes are whirling in ruin around you, aren't they?
They're
All
not,
because I chose to
Raziel.
accept my will for
Just
once,
wait.
rather than obey
Just
the
you
demands
wait.
of sorcerers and spirits and demons all singing the same tiresome refrain, kill Kain. I'm setting my own path from here, Mobius. I intend to discover the truth behind all of this.
But you condemn us all with this impetuous act.
Hardly impetuous. It took all the will I could muster. Has my refusal to kill Kain reshuffled your carefully stacked deck of cards?
You really think that you're exercising your free will, Raziel? You're simply Kain's servant.
I do not serve.
Carefully stacked deck of cards.
Raziel, do not forget your purpose here. You are destined to be the savior of Nosgoth.
Oh, I'm sick of hearing that
Oh,
particular
man.
phrase. As for saving Nosgoth, so far I see precious little reason to bother. And I'll choose my own purpose from here on out, Time Streamer. Right now, I choose to manipulate you for a change. Go. In there.
What are you doing?
Oh, you're doing exactly what he wants you to, Raziel. Just don't even know it yet.
This era is of no further use to me. You will operate this device to provide me passage. I want to see the world in a simpler time, before the Sarafan began their crusade.
And what about Kain? You're leaving your core behind.
You kill him if it's so damned important.
You need only touch the two poles of the switch, and the device will transport you. But I urge you to reconsider.
You've lost your powers of persuasion, old man. Rot here and forget me.
There we go. There we go.
Even as I emerged from that infernal time-streaming chamber, I suspected treachery. The stronghold was vacant.
I saved 16 seconds, but take it. Guess that was a pretty massive split. Oh. There it goes. It's that fickle. Please be the right way. Pretty sure it is. Left. Go left. Into this hall. Nice.
If I had any doubts about the era I now occupy,
Really?
this grotesque tableau certainly eliminated them. For here was
Yeah, I got turned around.
long since
Wasn't
murdered
14
by
seconds.
Kain, lionized and beatified as the martyred leader of his blood.
Although I guess maybe I didn't heal in the
I
courtyard.
required further evidence.
This should allow me
To behold
to not get knocked into the spectral realm here. That was huge.
head of Vorador, the final triumphant kill of Mobius's cutthroat mob. His execution marked the annihilation of the vampires. Far from channeling me into Nosgoth's past, Mobius had propelled me over a century to its ghastly future. The intent behind this little detour was unmistakable. Having failed to make me his obedient assassin, Mobius intended to keep me ignorant of my true destiny, which clearly lay in Nosgoth's past. While his deception only reinforced my purpose, Mobius had effectively stranded me here. This left me no course but to explore the era I now occupied and see what changes the century had wrought following Kain's ill-fated decision. Perhaps time had cleared a path for me into the mountains, where I might unearth more clues behind the mystery of Janos Audron.
Nice. Very good.
What pathetic charade is this now, Mobius?
No charade, Raziel. Only the entreaties of this martyr spirit.
Your pleas me nothing
This
to me
martyred
after all
spirit.
this. You have propelled me into Nosgoth's future, Mobius, and left me stranded here.
I am truly sorry, Raziel, but it was necessary. Consider it the last valiant act of a doomed man. You have strayed from your purpose, and now behold the result. Gaze upon the wasteland you and Kain authored together.
I fail to see how I'm responsible.
You spared Kain, and by doing so, you have released a multitude of horrors upon this world. I can accept that Kain has murdered me, Raziel.
Oh,
As
Mobius.
Time Guardian, I foresaw that incident long before it occurred, and I take some small comfort in the fact that Kain remains the sole survivor of his vile breed. But you have single-handedly made my sacrifice meaningless.
Your argument is disingenuous, Time Streamer. I cannot see how killing or sparing Kain's future self would alter these events. This wasteland was created by Kain's original refusal at the Pillars. Amidst all these twists and turns, that event has never changed. You are cunning, Mobius. I think you've gotten tangled in your own way.
As Kain clings to his precious seat of power, the pillars sink into a mire of decay, dragging all of
If you even are a spirit, you forget.
I don't think
I have a way to check.
the Pillars or Kain's failure to sacrifice himself. I think you're simply afraid because you don't know what he's up to.
He's a wild card, isn't he? And you don't want his influence in your game. Which is why you wanted me to eliminate him. Well, now that he survived, you have no idea what's coming, do you? Maybe, for the first time in your entire life, you're terrified that he may have truly found a third option out of the dilemma you orchestrated for him.
Kain's lies have addled your mind. Leave this place and trouble my spirit no more.
If you even are a spirit, you've forgotten. I have a way to tell for sure. If you're willing to risk it.
I love the look on his face.
Either way,
You lose. Either way, you lose. Oh. No, get out of the water. Here we go. Very good. Very good. Alright, I'll be right back.
These were the pillars so familiar to my blighted eyes. But now that I had begun to learn their true significance, I regarded the pillars' destruction with a new, enlightened sense of horror. And I questioned now whether Kain's simple refusal, his mere ambition, could truly have caused such devastation. I felt that some darker influence was at work here. As I approached, I discerned the spirit of Ariel, bound here now for more than a century.
Forever am I bound, hope abandoned, my spirit tethered to this place. What destroyed the circle could not touch me, for I was newly dead and beyond harm's reach. I alone was spared the descent into madness, and Kain alone was spared the pain of death. When the Practor's poison seized Kain even in the safety of the womb, much more than just his destiny was lost. All of Nosgoth lost balance. Consider us now, both of us less than we once were. I, pure but insubstantial, and Kain, terribly real, but corrupted.
imprisonment here has deranged you, Spirit. You fixate on Kain because you believe he is the tether that binds you here. We both know he is not the author of your agony. The pillars were subverted by dark forces, invited by the Guardians themselves. The more I learn of your circle, the more I see a tangle of nested manipulations.
Kain handed them their victory. They sought to topple the pillars, and he was their willing instrument.
Or was he their unwilling?
Ooh, look at that sum of
Would it run
best.
to your wrath to know that Kain's dilemma was calculated to bring the pillars down, regardless of the choice he made, and that the devastation would have been even greater had he chosen the path you would prescribe for him?
You are a subtle, deceitful creature. But your clever arguments do not absolve Kain. He must die for the pillars to be restored. There is no other way.
Then consider this more ominous possibility. What if Kain's death does not restore the pillars? Consider that it may simply be too late, that this world may be beyond redemption, and that you may be bound here eternally.
Eternally. Why do you torment me?
Why do you hound me, demon?
Oh.
You can see that I am captive here. Show me some mercy.
Like the mercy you showed your fellow Guardians when you set Kain on them? Or the mercy you showed Kain when you kept him ignorant of his destiny while you used him as the scourge of the Circle? Or perhaps like the mercy you showed your beloved Naprapta when you made him Kain's first kill?
You are cruel. Why do you torment me?
I'm merely looking for answers, Ariel. Very well. I'll leave you in peace. But know this about you and this purgatory from which you long to escape. You're merely at the threshold.
Merely at the threshold. Ow. Why are you gonna do me like that? I always forget that last one.
Raziel, the failed assassin. You had Kain at your mercy.
Not
but lacked the
failed.
courage to
He chose
fulfill the
not to.
act. And now you see the wasteland wrought by the tyrant's hand, by his selfish decision to preserve his own life, even when it meant sacrificing the whole world. This is the fate of Nosgoth, as long as Kain remains alive.
An ironic condemnation, given this guilty sin. One would think you'd torn down the pillars single-handedly. What are you trying to obliterate as you drag your loathsome body through this chamber? And why, as Nosgoth descends into madness and misery, do you appear to thrive? Things in this world, I am learning, are rarely what they seem. You, apparently, are no exception.
I am the engine of life, the source of Nosgoth's very existence. I am the hub of the wheel, the origin of all life, the
The hub of the wheel.
Or maybe you're just hungry. Could it be as simple as that? Wouldn't that be poetic irony? The great adversary of the vampires turns out to be the biggest parasite of them all.
Do not test my patience, Raziel. I made you, and I will unmake you if I become so inclined.
As your agent, I am beyond death.
There are fates worse than death, Raziel.
Oh, I see you now as you truly are. A cancer. A spooling parasite burrowed deep in the heart of this world.
Go now. Play out your pitiful rebellion and take your place among the destroyed, the used, and the damned. But know this. You are mine for eternity. You have always been and will always be.
My soul, Reaver. He said it. Oh, why are you doing this? Oh, get out of the fucking water. You asshole. Why am I struggling with that so much?
passage of time had indeed cleared my way forward, enabling me to explore the northern mountains of Nosgoth. I was anxious to discover if some evidence of Janos Audron's existence might still remain.
There's one! Seize him!
Just need to get in the city. Alright, don't look at that.
Here I discovered the quaint hamlet of Ustenheim, now long abandoned and collapsing into ruin. Legend claimed that Janos terrorized its villagers until the
What do I have? One more wall to climb.
If there was any truth to the old tales, the lair of the infamous vampire would not be far away.
Damn you. Do I really have to go all the way back? No, I don't. It's not horrible, but it's certainly not what I wanted to have happen. Just might mean I don't have to shift after meeting up with Kain.
This edifice was clearly not crafted by human architects. As the figure beneath the balcony silently attested, these were the Ares of winged beings. Undoubtedly, I stood before the mountain refuge of the legendary Janos Audron, but the entire sanctuary lay in ruin, collapsed under the force of some ancient cataclysm. As I suspected, the time streamer's deception ensured that it was centuries too late to unearth anything of consequence here. With nothing behind me but the wasteland I had traversed, I resolved to press on and explore these.
I don't have to shift and heal, but should I?
Oh no. Every time you turn up, something monumental and terrible happens. I don't think I have the stomach for it.
Because if I can't get up that cliff, I have to come all the way back here.
You are persistent, crossing time like this to follow me. Still waiting for that coin of yours to land on its edge.
I'm biding my time. I see that Mobius has played a little trick on you.
Yes. He clearly doesn't want me to meet this Janos Ordrin.
Perhaps. Or maybe he merely hoped that it would harden your heart against me, to see this wasteland which I single-handedly authored.
My heart doesn't need hardening, Kain. If I even suspected that destroying you would make any difference, I would do it this instant.
I knew you'd see through them, Raziel. Janos is indeed the key to your destiny, but you'll need to find your own way back into Nosgoth's path. Make no mistake, though, Raziel. You and I are now in great danger. We are irritants here. Malevolent forces are being marshaled to eliminate us.
You talk as though we're allies.
Regardless of your sentiments, Raziel, in their eyes, we are.
Well, they're certainly trying to eliminate you, Kain. There can be no doubt of that. I am assaulted relentlessly with demands for your demise. Whatever it is that you're plotting, they're scared to death of you. As for me, I suspect they made a grave error when they allowed my unique resurrection. I don't think they know how to destroy me.
You mustn't underestimate them, Raziel.
And who exactly is this diabolical they to which we keep referring? If there's some grand conspiracy going on, the right hand doesn't appear to know what the left is doing.
Do I YOLO, or do I play it safe?
Mobius is
I already lost a little bit of time on this split.
That's the sweetest irony in all of this. Nosgoth's great manipulator is there.
I'm gonna play it safe.
But the ones pulling the strings.
Because I could lose 15 seconds.
They don't like us
Or it's possible to lose like a minute.
Do they?
You must understand, Raziel, we haven't unwritten history, we've merely rewritten. The future flows around our petty actions, finding the path of least resistance, while admitting only the slightest alterations. This is the reshuffling you felt when you refused to kill me. And remember, Raziel,
Kain refused the sacrifice.
history will not allow the introduction of a paradox.
And if events cannot be reshuffled to accommodate the change?
It is the irritant who's expelled. Bear in mind that this may be exactly the outcome our enemies are trying to provoke. We must tread very carefully.
Come on. You're kidding me! You serious right now? For fuck's sake. How am I a minute over now? The swings. The emotional swings. Oh my god. Whoops. Oh, is it just stupidly hot?
The scenes I discovered here were unambiguous. This race of winged beings, the architects of the pillars and the creators of the Reaver, were Nosgoth's first vampires.
I'm not a huge fan either, but
to be a curse inflicted upon them by their vanquished enemies. These images confirm the truths that Kain had divulged.
Don't worry about getting distracted.
I've been too incredulous to
It's a very roller coaster type
see how the pieces fit together.
run right now.
How Kain intended to escape the dilemma of his destiny.
So the past two splits,
What role he had plotted for.
I don't know.
And why
It's
Mobius
really
and
messed
the
up,
dark
but
powers with which he seemed to be allied.
I was down by a minute, now I'm back over again.
So intent on me being the instrument of his
It's alright, I know there's more time saved to be had, it's just gotta do better. It will get better. Ugh. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't mind summer, but I don't know. I guess the only like it can be uncomfortable, but it's better than winter. And around here, winter lasts way too long, and I really don't like winter. Like winter starts in late November and goes like to March. Yeah. Yeah, being sweaty is oof. But I guess I can take that as long as I can be outside. Be outside. hate when this happens. It's alright. It's cool. Sure that eyeball friggin' shuts. Yeah, being sweaty is not fun. But guess I'd rather have that than winter where you just can't go outside. Yeah, I mean, like, winter can be fun, but ugh. Maybe it was better when I was younger because, you know, you'd go play in the snow, and now it's like being an adult, having to go shovel, clean everything, just being cold. I don't like it. Yeah. Oh. Wow. Alright. I've never fallen off that before. Oh, sliding stuff. That's fun. Wow, guy's trolling me. Oh man. Should be jumping on the other side. I don't know why I'm not. Yeah, all that stuff is fun. Snowball fights are the best. Oh, get up there. This thinks that you don't get the good snow. Ugh. Get that nice sticky snow. That's when you know it's not too cold. Go inside after and you have hot chocolate or coffee or something. Throw a blanket on, watch a movie. Like, that's all good, but just as an adult. It's just a lot of work. That's okay. It's fine. Alright, so I'm gonna do this by just cutting this way, coming back. Right, summer nights. I know it's a European thing to have like warm beer. For me, it's nice cold beer. Sit there and, you know, as little clothing as possible. I guess I can understand that. I don't know, I've never... Well... 2, 3, 4, 5... I don't smoke, but I can see it's very relaxing. Why? Alright, well, I learned something this run as well. Oh, there are a lot of them. So you gotta be at the front edge of that. The opposite of doing something right. Well, I guess not warm, but room temperature. I don't know. I like cold. Nice. Nice. I don't know. I thought that was a European thing where beer was room temperature. I guess so. I gotta be at like the front of that area. I did that last time. I shot the eye, but apparently I was too far away, so I had to go back around to grab the Dark Reaver again. Alright, well, maybe that's one of those things that you hear that's not necessarily true. A myth. Yeah, who would have thought? Cold beer's good beer. Now the excessively long on. Nice. Not a gold split, that's okay. As long as I can maintain at least this -30 thing. Finishing time should be pretty good.
As the Reaver drained the forge of its vital energy, the tempest receded. I recovered myself and paused to admire my newly forged weapon.
Nice.
Now imbued with the elemental power of air. Thus armed, I hope that I now finally
Nice.
possess the means to escape this wasted land.
Yeah, if it's some sort of cola, stuff's good. I like, personally, nice cold Coca-Cola. It's good. But I'm always interested to try other things. Hey Blades, how are you? I am good. Personally, I'm good. The run is Maybe we'll see. We'll see. Don't want to speak too loudly.
This elemental Reaver
Nice.
discovered had the power to obliterate barriers that were cracked
Wonder-
and compromised. At last, I had the means to open that ruined time-streaming chamber I discovered.
Hopefully you're
long ago.
getting sleep in this
Now,
busy
perhaps,
time.
I could leave this
for you.
wasteland and return to an era when Janos
Kafola?
lived.
Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. Just I'll see if I can get some imported. Just because, why not? Always down to try new stuff. It's like what those candy bars like in Japan. Kit Kats where they combine what is it? It's like an Oreo Kit Kat. It's like chocolate wafer and cream with 2 Kit Kats stacked on each other or something. Oh shit. Okay, just take my time on these stairs. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Try. Try to hit me. You won't. Try going around this way, see if we can't lose a few of these guys. Yes, it does. I can turn off the tips, but I just haven't. Oh, don't do it, don't do it. Yes! Oh! Yes, blades. It does say hold block to block. It's pretty funny, I think. Alright, so coming out of here somewhere, this next big room. Just gotta hug this side. I know. I just laugh at it every time, so I don't know. Maybe I just leave it on because it's so funny. No, I do need that out, actually. Little bastard is trying to friggin' slap me. Ugh.
choice but to act purely on blind faith. There was no way to tell what error this device was tuned to.
QRW? What?
Neither the knowledge nor
25%
the
faster.
machine myself.
Oh,
I hesitated only briefly.
bunny hopping?
Then, throwing the switch,
I don't know.
I hurled myself into oblivion.
I asked it in the Discord, and they were like, yeah, it's faster. Never tested it, but faster is faster. So, if they say it's faster, then I will bunny hop. Even though I hate it. That's part of why there's a lot of games that do that, like a lot of first-person shooters. Like, Kinney had asked if I would run Blood Dragon. And the answer is no, because that's another one where you have to bunny hop, and I just... Bunny hopping is not what I want to do. I do it for this.
It seemed that the device had
Only because
delivered me to the error I saw.
I should. Or
These were
I'm too far in, right?
And these vampires apparently the victims of their crusade. The coincidence seemed too convenient to naively ascribe to fate. Whether my opportune arrival had been orchestrated by Mobius or some other influence, I didn't know. If Janos Order still lived, I would find him. But I was wary of further deception and resolved to tread carefully.
Oh shit, going the wrong way. Don't want to do that. I've done enough of that. No! Yes, this is right, this is right. I'm fucking... Okay. I love it. I know summer, like, it just is getting in full swing, but can't wait for fall. Honestly, though, around here, fall has great food. Friggin' apples, right? Everything with apples, donuts, pumpkin. Even though I'm not big on the whole pumpkin craze that there is.
For all the butchery of Mobius,
Just
this massacre was somehow more chilling. The killing fields of the Sarafan betrayed a kind of orderly ruthlessness. The cold
knock on wood. This weekend's supposed to be pretty hot, but oh well. It's gonna happen. Yeah.
By all that is holy!
Here at last, in the flesh, I beheld my former brothers in arms, the warrior priests of the Sarafan Order, their lives devoted solely to the annihilation of the vampire plague. And while I confess, I felt a twinge of longing, a pang of...
That's gross. So it's only gonna get hotter. Like, you have 2 more hours, 3 more hours before you hit that peak temperature of the day.
I had seen the human face of the vampire.
Ugh.
And now, I beheld the monstrousness of these men.
Oh, why? Stop hitting me. Why does this seem funny? Guess I haven't done enough runs where I actually go through. Oh shit.
Free your soul,
Oh well. I know, I'm so excited for it. Not. So Rock's... Ugh. Oh god. 93. Good lord. Usually, I don't want to say it out loud, because I hate saying shit like that out loud. But, usually we don't hit 100. I mean, at least, you know, recorded temperatures. I mean, imagine sitting in the sun on those really hot days. But, gosh, that's awful. But yeah. Well, for reference, Blades works on a farm, so friggin' peak heat in the middle of a field, really, like, I would, oh. Wow, I just got trolled pretty friggin' hard right there. Hard enough to lose a few seconds.
After my long journey,
Oh man.
I finally stood on the threshold of enlightenment. For here was Janos ordering.
Do you have like
intact and unblemished?
Days where you need to
topple this ancient edifice had
I don't know, like
and while I had no certainty that Janos still lived, this scene boded well. For I presumed that the collapse of the retreat must have followed the ancient vampire's demise. There was only one obstacle. How to reach the balcony suspended at that maddening height.
I just lost my train of thought.
For this was the
architecture of do you have like
the tattered ruins of my wings were
I guess electric?
I would need to devise some other means.
I don't know.
Mountain.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. Alright, here we go. Another time-saving section. I guess the limits on, like, electricity that you can use. Air conditioner, do you just sit in front of a fan, or... I guess I don't really know what I'm trying to ask. Yeah, I know, I am. I'm gonna stop talking about it now. There we go. Bastard. I ramble a lot. I just... It's just what I do. Yeah. Ugh. Part always freaks me out.
The mountain's interior was hollow, I discovered.
Yeah, it.
Engraced with soaring architecture unique to its creators. As with the outer facade,
It's yeah. I can't even imagine.
by those gifted with flight.
3 o'clock being out in the middle of a field,
To carry me,
no clouds, sun beating down.
impassable. The object of my quest lay
Gotta get one of those big sun hats.
for here, suspended
I know
at the
you
apex of the
guys
chain,
would never do
was
that,
the
but
precipice that surely led to the great vampire himself. I didn't know whether Janos Ordran was the monster depicted in the stronghold, or
Yeah.
one of the noble creatures memorialized
Oh yeah,
among
living in the
ruins of
city,
vampires. But I didn't care.
walking along the
Demon
pavement,
or angel, he alone
which is just radiating the heat. Oh. Demon or angel? I'm not looking at your comment. I can't do it. No shit vibes here. None. Ugh. Oh, damn it. Not paying attention. Trying to read, but alright, man. Have a good day, Blades. Alright, I'll see you later. Well, I'll be out someday soon. Alright. Alright. Let's get this friggin' run. Honestly, there's still a lot of time save left, but can't think about that. Just have to execute what's right here. Look at that sum of best. But that's so what I was gonna say about it is it's getting there, but world record is much lower. I don't know what's up with my frame rate. Come up here and left it is. Yeah, I mean, it's more practice. I learned sections that just don't like you. Because, I mean, if I had held on to that minute 15, that would have been really nice. That's alright. Interesting. Still have to look that up. I mean, it sounds like a 7-minute speedrun for any game is probably pretty tough. Even if it's a short game. Alright, just 2 more blood bowls to fill. It's a platformer, you said, right? So it's just about executing the rooms or whatever they are. some of those just like the memorization of what to do when, it's like, it's a lot. Like there's some games where you have to react based on what's happening, and there's other ones where it's just memorizing all the button pushes and the timing of everything. Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of those with where the level setup is the same every time. It's like can task bot it. Yeah. What is there? It's like that Super Mario World. Excuse me. Super Mario World run that they showed at GDQ. I don't know if you watched that at all, but they had a task bot playing the game, and just like
it is heartening after all these years.
Everything perfect to the frame, because everything is the same every run. And
my child, what have they done to you?
Yeah, it was just really cool watching it. Just like jumping on top of every enemy that shows up on the screen without landing.
For thousands of years I have waited, alone here, losing faith. At the time of the binding, 9 guardians were called to serve the pillars, and I was summoned as the 10th guardian.
What do you think Janos does in the thousands of years he's just been waiting around?
Our race died out until I alone.
Alright, I need to pee real quick.
Sustained only by my obligation to you and by my guardianship of the blade.
And the other 9? Why did their guardianship not sustain them?
I don't know. As our race dwindled, the humans prospered. I have watched over the centuries as our history faded into myth and finally receded altogether. The humans have forgotten us entirely and claimed the pillars for themselves, wholly ignorant of their true purpose. To them, I am merely a devil, the origin of their vampire plague.
Why would the pillars summon human guardians then, if they are meant to be served by vampires?
The pillars choose their guardians from birth, Raziel, and vampires are no longer born. This is the crux of our dilemma, and this is the terrible irony. With their vampire purge, the members of the Circle have assaulted the very architects of the pillars they are sworn to protect. They have embarked on a treacherous path. With every vampire they kill, the humans are slitting their own throats. They know I'm up here, beyond their reach, and it terrifies them. You can see how they flaunt their kills to torment me, or perhaps simply to lure me out. They have this foolish notion that destroying me will somehow topple our entire bloodline. Thankfully, we're not that fragile.
I've seen them mustering their forces in the village below.
Yes. I don't know what they're plotting, but I fear our time may be bitterly short.
Mankind seems to have brought you only torment and grief. You must hate them.
They fear what they don't understand, and they despise what they fear. But no, I do not hate them.
Vorador does.
He has suffered much. He cannot forgive them.
Should they be forgiven?
They don't understand what they're doing. They are simply unenlightened and vulnerable to manipulation.
So, it's all true then?
Kain and Volador have told me. I really am some kind of unholy vampire messiah. Unholy? Oh, messiah, perhaps. I don't like that word. It smells of martyrdom.
Nice.
Your role in this world's destiny is more crucial.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Than you've allowed yourself.
Said I've been waiting
Your
for.
journey will not be easy. Dark powers are allied against you. But I think you already know this. You appear to have been cruelly tested.
Cruelly tested.
The binding must be secured, Raziel. The pillars are the lock.
Alright.
The Reaver is the key. Yes. The Reaver is here. Why do I feel nothing? The most formidable weapon ever forged by our swordsmiths.
Pizza with
They
human
infuse the blade with
sausage.
vampiric energy, empowering the Reaver to drain our enemies of their precious lifeblood. As Janos presented the blade, an inexplicable sense of dread crept over me. More
excuse me.
powerful than anything I'd felt before. I was at once horribly repelled by the sword, and yet irresistibly compelled
Yeah, it is a lifestyle.
to take it up. Please, take it away from me.
Alright, well. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. I will see you when you get back.
Fear you have been followed. You must save yourself, Raziel. Janos! No!
Vampirian flatbread.
My surroundings whirled sickeningly.
Blood
I found
sucks.
myself transported safely away from the ambush to an adjacent chamber. Janos had delivered me from the Sarafan, selflessly forfeiting his own safety to preserve my life. And now I feared that my newfound mentor would be slaughtered by the very crusaders I had so recently revered. The irony pierced me, and with dawning horror, I realized that I had been duped by Mobius from the beginning. For the Sarafan had simply followed the path I gullibly blazed through the sanctuary, and had arrived bearing Mobius's staff. Thus armed, they had Janos at their mercy. Through the door, I could hear them battling, less than a dozen paces away. But it may as well have been 1,000 miles, for this barrier was sealed by elemental forces I did not possess. It seemed Janos had conveyed me into the heart of the fire shrine. I thought perhaps if I could galvanize the forge and imbue the Reaver in time, I might have a slim chance of saving Janos from his grisly fate.
Yes, I know the setup. Let's do this. Come on. Okay. I can't see. Oh my god, now I'm gonna lose all my time. It's too late outside. It's okay. It's gonna be faster than the last one. Come on. Come on.
I plunged the Reaver into that furnace and forged the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Yaros from his executioners.
Good lord. out him.
Look at his black heart. How it still beats.
The fiend intends to bury us
Oh
alive.
man,
Raziel, we must get out of here.
it's a mind-blowing
Remember the sword.
twist. All right.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I failed you.
No, Razia. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply to save your life this once.
While I have taken yours.
Embrace your destiny, Razia. You must
Embrace your
reclaim the Reaver.
destiny,
It was
Aziel.
forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
As I backed away from Janos's body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing so deep I could barely contain it. In that instant, I rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, the task for which I was uniquely prepared. I would pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress.
Uniquely
Janos'
prepared.
Orden's murder. Mobius would pay dearly for his treachery.
So if the guy can teleport me anywhere, why can't he teleport himself out of harm's
I
way?
would take the stolen Reaver, which was rightfully mine. And finally, when all these debts had been paid, I would reclaim Janos Ordrin's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose was clear to me. I would restore the heart to Janos, and thus undo the vile crime committed by my abominable former self.
We've been expecting you, little Razia.
Little Raziel.
So, these demonic pests were not merely the product of Nosgoth's corrupted future, for here they were, hurtling back over 5 centuries to pursue me. These creatures, I suspected, were minions of the unseen forces that had hoped to control me. This was the tangible expression of their displeasure. These demons were unleashed as the penalty for my disobedience.
Not good, but
Do you really think you can Let me
Lighten.
poor Raziel.
Fine, I think I have a plan here.
There he is, the savior of Nosgoth.
Fuck. This is stupid. I'm gonna lose all my fucking time. Where's the Wind Reaver Forge? Thought there was one in here. Bastard. The font. Wind Reaver font. Stupid. Are you fucking kidding me? Don't make it happen.
Closer, Raziel.
Alright, be kind. to lose time. I might not. It might have been just crappy the last time too, but not that bad.
Failed me, Raziel.
I wonder.
Must have been really bad last time. That's fine.
Or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Kain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
Excuse me.
What a fool.
Did you have a nice cold shower? Yes. I like doing that too. Gotta have a hot shower to clean up. You finish with a nice shot of really cold water. So it takes your breath away.
Seize him!
Hydrate.
Suddenly and inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion, the peculiar sense of displacement I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me. I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
Here we go.
So, Raziel, here we are, finally. You have no choice but to confront me now, and I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business
This is it.
to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Seraphim to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave. He poses a
Do not let this creature leave.
Poor, deluded Raziel. Did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change on me? I'm the time streamer. I knew your every intention before you did.
Seraphim.
Imbecile.
Malik!
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within. The circle is under
Hold
attack.
fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
You toxic creature. Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose, corrupting everything you encounter?
I admit that I've
You haven't yet reached affiliate status, Mobius.
a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Raziel. Now, Malik, bolt the door.
Mobius, you need to do some hot tub streams.
Using his staff to disable my Wraithblade, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will.
The
And
door.
now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but powerful sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried
Oh,
vainly to
man.
embrace its physical twin.
Deep breaths. Time can be saved and lost.
Come to take your revenge, demon. Back to hell with you.
Come to take your revenge, demon.
These two as my former brethren, in life as Sarafan, and in unlife as Kain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephon, the weakest of Kain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them.
What future lay in store for them?
They so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
No, run. You bastard. Stop it. Okay. Oh, you bastard. Oh boy.
As Melchiah and Zephon fell before my blade, I felt the Reaver's bloodthirst as keenly as I ever had when I was still a vampire. I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage.
It wasn't very fast, but
Intoxicated by its bloodlust, the blade had a vitalizing effect on me.
they both died at the same time, which is good.
And the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegant.
I've been dropping frames.
Exhilarated by the Reaver,
It's alright.
I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Kain's blasphemous private joke.
Alright.
And I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Kain to raise as his vampire sons
All right.
a millennium from now.
called from, demon?
And here at last was my brother
Tyrell.
who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Kain's command.
The vampire Tyrell had eluded my
Even as a
vengeance.
vampire.
The Seraphim
I guess
Tyrell
I
would
hadn't
not.
hard. The vampire Tyrell had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Tyrell would not. So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick.
Like you did for Janos.
No, that beast had eluded us for far too long.
Far too long.
Ending too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordrin turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
Damn it.